But before I really get into this, I want to talk about just a couple things. Now, a lot of this stuff has been pre-recorded, different things. Now, one thing I didn't want to do is make this thing look like a gosh damn Christmas tree or the Griswold's house off a Christmas Vacation. So, lightsaber bar and all that bullshit, no, not a thing. Not going to do it. I hate that shit. I keep Star Wars and Star Wars. Keep Evil Dead and Evil Dead. Blood, gore, guts, humor. Let's keep that the norm. Let's not be like, oh, well, I really like about about that chainsaw. It's got that glowing bar. It's pretty. Fuck that shit. No, we're not doing that. Now, you'll notice I get a little more serious when this video starts moving along. Now, the lights aren't in it yet. I do talk about this later. My friend Joe was going to send me some kind of lighting stuff. He's a big Ghostbusters dude. Ghostbuster fans are awesome. They're very particular in what they do. I have a lot of respect for them. I really, honestly do. They're great, great people. The only lights that will be in here, which aren't installed yet, will be right here and inside of there. Other than that, there's not going to be any lights because it's not a fucking Christmas tree. So that's, sorry for the cussing, but I'm serious. I'm not going to do that. Got a little hair right there. When it comes to the body style, this side of the body is the same style that was used in Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you know your body styles, Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 were not the same home light body that was used in Ash vs. Evil. Well, okay. I'm talking too quick here. Let me slow it down. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Those body styles were not used in Ash vs. Evil Dead. Completely different body style. A lot of people get that wrong. I'm just going to put that to rest right now. Now, if you're looking for Ash vs. Evil Dead, if you're looking for that body style, with the original top handles, it's got this big V handle right here. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, it has more of the subtle rounded handle. Original handles. I'm talking about original bodies here. So, but at the same time, there's variances in those bodies too. So if you ever want me to talk about that, I'll talk about it at some point. Like I said, this is the Ash vs. Evil Dead style body here. This side is not. It looks the same, smells the same, tastes the same. It's not. My friend Chris Pollock had these starter covers he was just going to throw in the trash or discard them to people who wanted them. And I saw this one and said, oh, I got to have it. There's only one difference with this starter cover side versus the original, or the one used for Ash vs. Evil Dead. And that is the eyelet hole. Now this string used to hang out. Unfortunately it doesn't anymore, but I can make it happen again. This is a wider eyelet hole, and it's got this nice gold brass look. And I saw that, I go, I know exactly what I'm going to use that for. It is a home light side. It is from a home light. It's from a Home Light Super 2, a very specific Super 2. So I want to do something just a little bit different, since Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness had their body style, Ash vs. Evil Dead had their body style. Let's mix it up just a little bit with this concept, post-apocalyptic chainsaw. So that's one of the first things I want to talk about with this chainsaw right here. Like I said, and I'll say later, I did not want to put a bunch of lights and shit on here. I was talking with a subscriber, fellow Evil Dead fan, member on the KOS and the Ghost Meters page, Bruce Phillips, and he was happy that I didn't do the lightsaber bar, because dear Lord, that just boggles my mind. I just despise it. It's too far off base for an Ash's chainsaw. It's got to be something that, reflects Ash's original chainsaw, or the chainsaws through the trilogy, through the whole series, movies, TV, and all. So let's talk a little more about this. Okay, let's go over some of the details here that I did, some of the decisions that I made. One of the things that I came up with and decided on was the grill. When it comes to the grill, it is the thicker style grill that you really notice on Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. The Ash vs. Evil Dead one was much thinner. but it was nice and defined. So I wanted to mix the two together so it is thicker throughout here, but it's nice and slick looking. I don't know if you can see it, but there is all the grime in here. And also when it comes to the pull string, originally I had it hanging out like this, but I actually had to take this off to do some revisions to it, so now it does not. But I could, make it like that if I really wanted to, but, not really something pending at the moment. Now let's look back here. Now, if you notice, the strap is just a little farther down to what you remember if you look at Ash vs. Evil Dead, but there is that iconic post of a photo from the end of Evil Dead 2 where Bruce Campbell, playing Ash, is holding up his boomstick, and you can clearly see that this is at a farther down angle, so I really want to do that again. One thing I have talked about is these bolts here. Why did I go with those? Now, it kind of, it's new, but it represents also how he's the king. They really reference that in Army of Darkness, and I really wanted to bring that into this chainsaw. So I really wanted to do something like that. Let's go over here. Let's look. Now, this bolt right here, system right here, that's really kind of the norm that you see when it comes to Ash vs. Evil Dead. For the handles, there is a few different styles. Like the first appearance one does not have this look. It has a 4mm hex bolt going through it with the nut on this side, but I wanted to go with more of the original here. When it comes to the handle, I wanted to definitely keep it somewhat clean, but do a cleaner cut. This is more of the Army of Darkness cut, or Evil Dead 2 cut, whatever you want to say, but with a nice clean look like Ash vs. Evil Dead. Now when it comes to the bolts in the front, one thing I have talked about the hinge, how originally the flat top did have a hinge. The hinge was originally down here on the flat top. The full top length is like Ash vs. Evil Dead. Or I'm sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here. When it comes to the hinge, Evil Dead 2 had the hinge on the flat top down here, if I didn't say that right the first time. So, it's been a long day. I got the 6mm bolts that they use for Ash vs. Evil Dead right here. When it comes to these bolts right here, this is a callback to Ash vs. Evil Dead, the Power Glove, because they use those HID-style bolts on the Power Glove, or the Gauntlet, I have to say. So I did want to bring the hinge back, brought the hinge back. When it comes to all the silvering, with the backstory of this chainsaw, it is considered old. I wanted to make it look like it's an old used chainsaw, nothing that's new from a factory, or just I don't see really how they could make another movie or continue the series and have a brand new style chainsaw like a Poland or Husqvarna or anything else other than the Homelite XL or something very similar to that. So that's one thing I wanted to stick to, is that. I'm going to go over the top here in a minute once I can get to it. The oil and fuel caps, they are reversed like the race top you do see in Evil Dead 2. I wanted to bring that back. This fuel tank top, which I'll show in a minute, doesn't have the emblems on there, hence why I didn't mind running this hose through it. I'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. Let's go around to the other side. If you notice here that the back corners are weathered and beat up. Same thing over on this side here. Has the open back, like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and various chainsaws from Ash vs. Evil Dead. So definitely wanted to go with that. Did go with the clamp style that you do see on Ash vs. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. I wanted to keep that going with that. And when it comes to the muffler here, I have the block style from Ash vs. Evil Dead, but the muffler is completely different. There is a lot of Easter eggs I put in there. I think I might have gone over a few of them. I post all over the place. I'm sorry if I didn't post it on YouTube here. But one thing you can say is, it's a new, it's a different chainsaw, different muffler. You can say that if you really want to. All right, let's go to this side right here. Now, when it comes to this sticker, I may have talked about it on YouTube, I'm not sure, but If you get one of these Homelight XLs, especially the body style that was used for Ash vs. Evil Dead, it has a Made in America sticker. So I figured, I'm going to get a sticker made that is very much a callback to the Homelights and to Ash. It says handcrafted, made locally, Michigan. Now, handcrafted, of course, Ash made it with one hand, lives in Michigan. The setting for Evil Dead 2, if you go all the way back to Ash vs. Evil Dead, which you guys don't have this, but I got some from the auction that says the cabin was near the Elk Grove Reserve, Nature Reserve or something like that. So it was made in Michigan. One thing I wanted to bring back is the shield here, the bar guard. I like the bar guard. Wanted to keep it or bring it back, so I did. I kept the little plate down here that you get on these Homelights, this specific body. So it was a neat look, and you really can't see it because the bar is kind of in the way, but I really put a lot of grooves and a lot of detail like this thing's been used on the inside. And let's go and talk about the top right now. Okay, so here's the top. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the cut right here is more of a Army of Darkness cut. I wanted that look. I didn't want the more rounded look, which you notice on Ash vs. Evil Dead. I wanted to get away from that. It's got the duct tape look rather than the black tape look because Ash fixes everything in, using duct tape. So, same callback to Ash vs. Evil Dead, but with duct tape. As you can see right here, I talked about how there's no emblems. So that was nice. One thing that I've been told that people like is I mixed the raised top with the flat top look, keeping the top a metallic look. I like that too. I thought it was only suiting and fitting to do that. Toggle switch placement, Army of Darkness, Ash vs. Evil Dead, of course. These two bolts up here are original Homelight bolts. Of course, not the same place. And then over here, yeah, that's original Homelight bolt, but not in the same place, of course. That's on various chainsaws throughout the entire trilogy other than Evil Dead 1. So let's go ahead and open this sucker up. Take a peek. All right, so now here's the plate piece. Now this piece that I made is made of aluminum, foam, milliput, a model car wheel, toothpicks, and some washers, and what else? Cardboard. So I made it to match up as well as possible as Evil Dead 2. One thing is this plate should actually be moved up to here, and I know what they originally used to do the insides of the flat top, but so far I'd rather just keep that a mystery for everybody. Me and one other person, we know what they use. We figured it out, and there's a name for it. Forgot it. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Sorry about that. Anyways, as you can see right here, I did put what you see below the block, that ribbing from the motor. I did put a piece in there for that. Closed it in. Really put a lot of grime into it here. And then up here, various different parts. Of course, that's off a Homelight. Now, when it comes to the vials, you got a red vial, you got a clearish blue vial. I was talking with my friend Joe Rylette about that. And this thing has somewhat of a different fuel deal, at the same time, somewhat some powers, things like that. So there's a big mismatch of how it's fueled and whatnot. And these black cords, actually, which you probably can't see, no, it's too dark. They actually connect into two holes in there that are connected into the back. As you can see, a lot of grit, sandy stuff blackened in right there. Still works. And the placement of that was a pain in the ass. Trust me on that. But talked to various people. That was one of their favorite things, is that it opens up. They really like that. And it wasn't easy. Trust me, it wasn't an easy thing to accomplish. And to make it so you can wear it. That is the hardest thing. It's almost like wearing a flat top, basically. Which kind of sucks. I'm not a big flat top fan after making one. But, see, it lifts right back up. All you gotta do is screw it down. So, let's talk about the bar. All right, so now we're here at the bar. Now you're gonna ask what I've done. Now, first off, this bar is the Oregon bar that's used. It is sitting in the position like Ash vs. Evil Dead first appearance, to where you see this pointing on the inside of the body. The chain is not an Oregon chain. It actually is a Tri-Link brand chain. And it's actually beefier, has more barbs. It's known to just rip shit apart rather than cut nice and smooth. It's meant to rip shit up, basically. It can cut smooth. You know, they're not going to say it's just, you know, going to tear shit up. But in comparison, yeah, this one's way, way beefier. All right, so what's going on with the lettering here? What's going on with all the cracks? Now, what I did here for all this is I did this all by hand with a Dremel and diamond bits to engrave it. If you look really closely, you can see a dried blood look, somewhat of a reddish brown. It's really tough to kind of see in the lighting, but you can kind of see it, especially right there. Right here, you can really see it. Now, basically, the story goes with this. Of course, when you do anything that's a concept, you kind of have a story behind it. If you don't have any kind of story behind it, it's not going to make sense. So basically, just kind of going from the end of season 3, you know, Ash and that girl, they get pinned down by deadites, going to the major KOS, you know, hideout, whatever. Run out of ammunition, they get stuck in an old garage or something, and Ash has to make a chainsaw, so they fight their way out, make their way there. When it comes to the story too, the age of the chainsaw was a thing. Now this is the reason why I made it look old is, number one, they have to fight the Dark Ones, they have to get the book, and they need the dagger to fight the Dark Ones. And actually, also, the dagger is the only thing that can destroy the book. That's it. So the chainsaw being as old as it is, it's not ancient, but it's old. So basically Pablo, or a wise man, basically turns this thing into a Kandarian dagger, basically. And puts some kind of Kandarian spell into the chainsaw, which it's not ancient, so it takes damage, cracks, things like that, but engraves it with certain wording and passages, things like that. It can kill the Dark Ones, but it can't destroy the book because it's not quite old. Only the dagger can do it, but this is a good way they can actually fight the Dark Ones to get to the dagger and find it. So that's kind of the story line I went with. And this is completely translatable. I don't know if I'm ever going to say what it means. You never know. And then you got the other side. Both sides say something completely different. Like I said, it is completely translatable. It's got lowercase and uppercase letters in it. It's more of the Evil Dead 2 style lettering. It's not the Ash vs. Evil Dead lettering, which is just complete gibberish. It doesn't mean shit. It's very similar to the lettering of Evil Dead 2, but it's not the same. I would say, you know, Evil Dead 2 lettering seems to be more of like Egyptian, you know, a little bit cleaner. And then the Ash vs. Evil Dead seems to be more of like, I don't know, more of the Middle East kind of feel to it, the way it looks. But all in all, I'm happy with it. You know, when it comes down to this chainsaw, doing something that's a concept chainsaw with a story behind it, something that hasn't been done, you know, it's tough to do because, you know, there's such a huge fanage with this trilogy. You got to make something relatable to everybody, at the same time something new, and you have to have reasons of what you do. You can't just be like, hey, I'm going to put a lightsaber bar on this, and fuck, I hate that lightsaber bar bullshit. Honestly, I do, because How shitty would it be with Ash just walking around cutting deadites in half and they just don't bleed? Come on, you know, you got to have that. And that's why I didn't go with that. I didn't want this chainsaw to look like a car off of, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I didn't want it to look like that. There is a couple things left to do on this, minor things. The lights, of course, I'm waiting to get those from Joe. Hey, Joe, if you're watching this, remember, you're going to help me with them lights. Well, you know, if you don't, it's fine. I don't care. You're good. Another thing Chris Pollock suggested is I got to get a sticker, and COVID-19 is really screwing this up for me. I got to get a little red sales sticker. Let me say that one more time. Little red sales sticker that says $109.95. I'm just going to put it on the bottom, weather it out a bit, just to give a good callback and shout out to Army of Darkness. But this is my concept, post-apocalyptic chainsaw. There's my finger again, of course. If you guys want to know what it means, let me know. And, I'll tell you what one side... Well, fuck it, I'll tell you right now. One side says, Klaatu Verata Nikto. The other side says, the metal of the man. Which, Vinny, my good friend Vinny is the one who helped me out with that big time. The metal of the man refers back to the beginning of season 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, where they had, test the metal of man. Well, now this is the metal of the man. So guess what? If you're a Deadite or a Dark One, you're going to get your ass fucked up. Because he's coming for you. Because this chainsaw, with, the powers given to it by basically the book, yeah, it can kill a Dark One and just rip shit apart too at the same time. So I hope you like it. It's a concept design. I know it's not for everybody. I love it. I do. Me and my oldest son, we came up with this design and really worked hard on it. And I got a lot of good input from a lot of people. And yeah, that's it for now. Till next time, you guys stay groovy.